Sree Lingam, would you please come up? Sree Lingam, you created a digital photograph called Looking Out. You go to Capel High School. Your teacher is Tamara Westervelt. This is a very, very interesting photograph, and I imagine this was hard to create. Can you tell me what inspired this?
Well, my friend Hannah, who's pictured in the photograph, we like to explore odd things, and we happened to stumble upon an abandoned trailer park, and we went there the first time, and it was actually kind of a light rain, so we couldn't like photograph much, but we were looking around, we saw a lot of interesting things. Every home that you walked into, you'd see remnants of the people who had lived there in the past. You'd see kind of the scattered remains of what once was a home that was once loved became something that was abandoned. And there was kind of a strange beauty to that, to see all of the articles within the home just left as they were. Kind of makes you wonder, you know, what were the people doing, you know, that lived in the home? Why did they leave? You know, why did they leave it in this state? And I thought that was very inspiring. And I think at first glance, what struck me most were the broken windows. Mm-hmm. And they kind of look really despondent, doleful, that kind of thing, but kind of like forbidding access to like the casual passerby. But I think it was kind of inviting attention to like the eccentric people like my friend and I. And so we kind of wandered inside and we kind of fell in love with the place. And so we went back a few more times and then we planned a shoot. And we kind of coordinated some clothing to match the environment. And then we went out and shot.
Wow. Well, I'm just really moved what you're talking about in terms of things that are broken and abandoned. And very often when things are broken and abandoned, people forget about them. Mm-hmm. And you are seeing the beauty in what's left behind. They're like memories. And I'm looking at the glass in this photograph and I'm thinking, it's beautiful, but also dangerous. And I think memories can be that way, right? They can be painful. I mean, they can cut. You have to be careful with them. But there is a beauty in them. You don't want to just discard them. Mm-hmm. Really, really lovely. And your friend is looking through that. Mm-hmm. So what was your biggest challenge in executing this? It looks like this was complicated.
Right. I looked through my card after the shoot was finished, and I had about like, I think close to 400 shots from that one day.
Wow.
And so, I don't know, it was difficult picking which one I liked best. And also, like, during the shoot, it was difficult composing since a lot of the material was, like, all dilapidated. It was scattered around. It was broken. And so I actually cut myself with a glass.
Oh, dear.
And I had to make my friend, you know, walk over chipped glass. She was wearing heels, you know. It's kind of rainy outside. But, you know, I don't know, do it for the art, you know, so.
You made her wear heels? We don't see the heels.
Yeah, she was wearing a really nice dress, pearls, pea coat. It was in the winter time.
Right.
And she was wearing a dress. It was one of those really cold days, too. I'm the worst. Thanks, Hannah.
I mean, did she give you a hard time afterwards saying, why did I have to wear the heels?
No,
they are not in this picture.
We do this all the time. She's actually one that like scouted out the location first and was like, hey, I think you'd like this, you know, and she's always doing this kind of stuff, you know. We'll go around on thrift stores finding like potential clothing, you know, for shoots and whatnot. We'll come up with themes together. We kind of plan it out together and we're kind of a little team. And so she's my model for basically everything I do. I don't have friends that are as, I guess, daring as she is, and she's willing to do things that other people wouldn't, so.
Well, she sounds like a great friend to have. So what surprised you the most in working on this?
I guess I realized the complexities of the photo shoot process. I realized that we would have to have outfit changes, you know, you'd have to find a way to manage the subject with the surroundings, make sure they weren't getting hurt. And also to kind of try to figure out a balance between like having such a well-kempt, groomed person alongside an environment that's so dilapidated, broken, desolate. So I think finding the balance between that and trying to make those two elements juxtapose alongside with each other was kind of a challenge. But that's why I took about 400 pictures that day, I think.
Wow.
Trying to fine-tune that idea.
I'm definitely seeing a theme here with all the work, the contrast. Everybody is really into this whole contrast between the light and dark, and you're right. I mean, that's part of what's really extraordinary about this piece. The black dress and the pearls, and she looks very well coiffed, and then of course, the broken glass. What pleased you the most about this particular picture, and how did you know you had the right one? I mean, you took 400, and so I think if I was looking at 400 things, I would have a lot of trouble narrowing it down. I bet you had a lot of good ones.
Right.
So how did you know you had it, and what pleased you the most about this whole project?
Well, I thought it was interesting because I'd never really worked in an abandoned location. It was one of the first times that I was shooting there, and so the challenge of picking which trailer park I had to work with and I guess getting around the environment, that was difficult. But then I was very pleased with how I was able to bring all the elements that I wanted to together, kind of have that idea of like it's a really doleful kind of environment, but the model kind of has that gaze that's kind of optimistic. Mm-hmm. There's notes of hope in how she's looking out of the window. And I think I was successful in creating that kind of mood, like that note of optimism amongst like the bleak nature of the whole piece. And I think the tones are interesting too, because you'll see like the really monotone, mute colors in the background, but then she has like the human, flesh tone. There's more life to that. And I think, again, the whole contrast idea.
Absolutely. It's sort of like hope in a post-apocalyptic world here. Everything's been destroyed, but we're going to keep going. It's really a beautiful piece of work on so many levels, just even the way the frame is bent, in addition to the look of the glass, just the fact that it's not absolutely clear, but I mean, even the glass seems to have this shading in it. It's really a beautiful piece of work, Sree. And congratulations. What are your goals for yourself going forward? Are we going to see more photographs? Are you going to be pursuing this or something else?
Well, I'm actually interested in pursuing animation. So I also want to double major with business and then try to do animation along with that. And the plan is to decide, hopefully, between the few schools that I have. I'm looking at University of Michigan, Ringling, and Rhode Island School of Design. So those are my top picks, and I think hopefully I'll have a decision soon because decisions are due in 2 weeks. So I think,
wow.
Yeah, I definitely think my photography will help me in the traditional media. I'm actually a traditional artist. I just kind of work around with photography and whatnot, but I think like the narrative aspects of photography will help me in animation and whatnot in the future.
Well, absolutely. I mean, so many of the best animators, they work from real objects. And I always remember reading about how Walt Disney used to take his crew out to, if they were going to do something about animals, they would bring the animals in because they didn't want to just work out of their heads. They wanted to work from real things.
I think for Sleeping Beauty, they actually had like a few of they had like dancers and whatnot for the few
Really?
sequences, and they'd have animators circling the dancer, and they would sketch away like figure draw while she was dancing to capture like the movement. So it's very interesting to see like how the dynamics of animation have changed, something so traditional to digital. And I think I want to mess with both worlds, and I think working with digital media will definitely help with that.
Absolutely. I see a lot of potential there. So, Sree, I hope you'll stay in touch. You'll show us some of your work as it develops. I know you're going to have great things to share. And thank you. This was a beautiful, thoughtful photograph. Really enjoyed it. Congratulations.
Thank you.